No, I was not. I was not searching for Google. Okay. So my topic is growing from a single author blog to a multi-author or a community blog. But before I start, I just want to know how many of you actually blog? Raise your hands. Who have a blog? Okay, only very few. Wow, I thought there'll be a lot. But I guess, I think most of you are developers out here who probably don't blog. You work behind the scenes of WordPress. And most bloggers, we work in front of WordPress. So I'm going to still start, and I'm going to talk about how you can actually grow a blog. So this session is going to be helpful for people who blog individually, but want to grow it to a multi-author blog so that they can probably increase traffic or make more money or whatever your reasons. What I'm going to do is, given that very few are bloggers, I'm going to keep this interactive. So if you have certain questions, you can just stop me in middle and ask, and I have only 20 minutes. So I'm going to quickly run through the slides first. Okay, that's who am I. Let's go next. So my first question was going to be, why do you want to create a multi-author blog? Now that there are so few people who blog, can someone guess why anyone would want to create a multi-author blog? There are reasons there, but yes, please. More authority, right? So there are various reasons that people will want to go. They would want to have multiple writers on their blog. Some of them want money, some of them want popularity, some of them want traffic growth. Some of them do it for a cause, something like, Hardik Patel, right? How many of you, I think most of you must have heard about him. So for a cause, may it be right or wrong, that is not the question. But it may be that, you want multiple people to blog about certain cause. That would be one of the reasons. It may be citizen journalism, where in Delhi, whenever there were elections, you as a social activist want people to blog about elections or something like that. So it might be citizen journalism. So there are various reasons why people want to start a multi-authored blog. But about 90% of them want it for growth, want it to make money, or want to create higher traffic. So I'm going to talk about how, these 90% people, how can you grow traffic on your multi-authored blog. Finding out the reason will set you course on the right direction. So before you start, so right now if you are a single blog and if you want to grow it, first find out what is the reason and the vision that you have. Next. Again, this is jargon. I'm not going to talk much, but specifically, even though it is jargon, it is the most important. Before you start, I'll give you some statistics before we talk in detail about growing. There are about 350,000 new blogs that are started every month in India alone. I'm not talking about global. 6 months down the line, can anyone guess how many survive? Someone, come on. Out of 3,50,000 blogs are started every month, new blogs. How many of them survive? Anyone? 6 months down the line.
Couple of hundred.
Yes. There are about 50. There are only 50 blogs that stay active. Okay, so that means they are posting at least once in 15 days or something like that. Once in 15 days, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So out of 3,50,000, if only 50 blogs are going to survive, there is definitely something wrong. And one of the main reasons is, everyone expects that their blog traffic is going to shoot up from day one. It never happens. It never happens. Unless you are Amitabh Bachchan. Yeah? Or Poonam Pandey. or Sunny Leone. You get my point. You guys are not that. So you are not going to get traffic from day one. Neither from second month, neither on the 6th month. Yes, you will start getting trickle of traffic. So what you need to do is to set some goals before you start, because what happens, you start and then you fail and then you feel bad. So it's better not starting if you are not going to stick to that decision. If you are really game for it, only go ahead and then do it. So coming back, set some SMART goals. Be specific, measurable, achievable, timely. The most important factor to creating a successful multi-author blog is to have SMART goals. Next. When this topic came to me, I was speaking to Saurabh and a few other people. I told them specifically that, the kind of audience that is going to be here may not be interested in multi-author blogging, because that is something that, a lot of people, like I said, start blogs. They are not even successful at single blogging. But when it is multi-author blogging, it's very, very difficult. Why? Because it is just not you. It is about 5 authors, 10 different authors who are trying to be same as you, who are going to make it successful, and everyone is not in sync. That's why you need to create guidelines for multi-author blogging. Remember, it's just not you anymore. What you need to do is basically replicate. If you are starting a blog and you have certain vision that, I am going to start a blog in tech field or in mobile or a gadget blog. I'm going to write this kind of articles, this kind of content. If you have this thing, and if you want others also to be on the same line, you will need to create guidelines. What categories? You need to be very, very specific. What are the categories they are going to write on? What is going to be the tone of the article? What is going to be the language? Whether he can write in informal language, conversational, formal, all those things you will need to create a guideline around it. What is the frequency? What is the link attribution that, whenever you write an article and you take a reference from somewhere, what is the attribution policy that you have? These guidelines you need to write. Linking of how you link, whether you link, have a no follow or do follow, all these things, all these guidelines need to come from you, that make very clear to all the other new writers on your blog as to, this is how I want a blog post to be written. The process, type, timing, freshness, pictures, length. Try to cover each and every aspect of a blog post that you may need to, that you want your authors to write. So, create guidelines. You need to ensure that all your authors are in sync with your goals and vision. Next. Again, I'm going to quickly go through this. How many of you have actually got blogs that get some amount of traffic? Yeah, I know, Tushar. Anyone who gets over 100,000 hits a month? Anyone? What's your name, sir? Manish. Okay, Manish, I'm not going to ask you. I can't see the face from here, so sorry. Anyone else? Okay, I have, very, very few people here, so I'm not sure whether, you will be interested so much, but I'm still going to quickly go through it and then come to questions and answers if need be. Assigning user access in WordPress, when you're doing multi-author blogging, what you can do is assign an editor, assign an author, contributor, subscriber. So based on the user rights, they can directly either post or then put it to drafts on various access level permissions. So that is what you need to first assign whenever you get a new author on board. Creating a scheduling calendar. That means what happens is like tracking on my blog. I have about 10 authors and every day they write at least one or two articles. The way it is done is that at the start of the month, each of my writers tells me that I'm going to write 25 articles or I'm going to write 10 articles. There are some people who say only 5 articles. So I take that feedback and create a scheduling calendar as to Mohul, you write this, Arvind, you write this, Anil, you write this, and then create a calendar. So at the start of the month itself, I know exactly what is going to go on my blog, whether it is in line with my thought process, whether it is, if I thought that I wanted 100 articles to be posted on my blog, are they coming? I get a very clear picture. So it's very important to create a scheduling calendar. It gives you about 30-day or a 60-day view of what is going to be published on your blog. Scheduling and publishing content. Again, this forms the crux. We don't have too many. Manish, do you have multi-author blogging? No? Okay. We don't have a single multi-author blogger here, so I may not be able to explain, but scheduling and publishing content takes a lot of time. When you are alone, it is very easy. Open WP admin, open a new post, write it, or then if you are using an offline editor like a LiveWriter or something, you can go ahead and write and say publish and you are done. But when it is multiple authors, it is a completely different. Someone writes a small article of 300 words. Someone writes a 2,000 word article and it is not in Vision. So the way we do it is, we have a editing flow or a process flow, and there is a plugin for it. If someone wants to, I'll just feature it in the last slide and I'll talk about it more. But scheduling and publishing content takes a lot of time. The last sentence, if you can read, never try to do everything manually by yourself. Let your process do the work so that you can think about growing your blog. Right now you're not probably blogging much. 5 years down the line, 2 years down the line, whenever, let's say you start a blog and you really want to grow it into a multi-author blog, remember one thing. Try to delegate. The more you delegate through a processized manner, you will be successful. When I give you my own example. Track.in is about 7 years old, and for first 2 years I was the only one who was writing, and I used to spend about 6 hours a day writing blog posts, about 3, so 2 hours each article I used to write. And traffic increased, people started wanting more, and then I said, yeah, how can I increase? There are only so much time, 6 hours of writing and then 2-3 hours I can do something. If I was doing full time, at that time I started doing full time, I only have about 10 hours, what can I do? So what I said was, I started asking for guest bloggers or, external bloggers, freelancers to write for me. First, when I was alone, I used to write 3 articles a day. When these articles started coming in, it actually reduced to about only 1 or 2 articles, because I used to spend tremendous time just trying to go through the articles, make changes the way I wanted. I did not have any process at that time. So if you set the processes right, and I'm not going to go into each and every detail, if you set the processes right, you can have a lot of time on hand to grow your blog, to come up with a strategy, to come up with various ideas where you can grow your blog rather than spending time on editing and doing stuff like that. So, next. Has anyone tried finding a guest author or a writer for their blog? Has anyone done that? Have you done that?
I came up with the stage where you have to curate the content yourself. It takes a lot of energy because someone else is writing it.
Yeah. Yeah, but have you tried finding someone? You have to, see, one of the things that many, Tushar, you might be. Yeah, so Yes, that is also right. When you are a Huffington Post or a very big blog, yes, they approach. But for smaller bloggers, it becomes difficult finding a new writer. So that's what I said here. You can put a call for writers. If you want to grow your blog and you want more writers on your blog to write for your blog, you can probably create a blog post, put it on your social media sites, stating that I'm looking for a guest writer or I'm looking for a regular author on my blog. But you will get very few people. The way you need to find, and I have seen it, I will tell you that I get about 100 people get in touch with me that I want to write for your blog every month, and not even one, not even one is good. So what I'm saying is, less than 1% of people who approach me that I want to write for you are really good. So I spend a lot of time screening those people, and I waste a lot of time. Over time, I have found one thing that really works very well, and that is, if you are on Twitter or social media or Facebook or Instagram, wherever people write, try to follow people and see their status updates, whether they are able to express well. If they are, get in touch with them. My success rate has been that out of 5 people I get in touch, one definitely says, oh, I would be really interested in writing for your blog, and they are really good. But you need to make sure that the interest levels and categories they write on, the expertise that they have are matched with each other, and that you have to do at the start. Also, you can read other blogs in your niche. So if you're a gadget blogger, read other gadget bloggers, and you can actually poach. Don't do it with your friends, but you can poach their writers as well. Because most of the writers have this author bio. You can get in touch with them and say, okay, come on, are you interested in writing for me? And why would they do that, you would say? And that is next. No, go back. Next. Yes, money. Money is the greatest motivator. Unfortunate, but out of 100 people, 98 people, if you give good money, they will come to you. Whether your blog is small or big does not matter. So if you hire someone and if you have capability to pay them, I pay my writers more than I make on Tracking. I have about 8 writers and they make more money than what I make. And I'm being honest, few of them at least. The reason is that if I don't pay them, they are going to go somewhere else. And the web property that I'm creating, Tracking, is an asset. And these writers add to that asset all the time. And the asset is growing. So that's a indirect value to me. But what I am doing is I'm giving them for each article. And and that's why I said money is a great motivator, and if you pay them well, they'll stick to you. Yes.
What is the revenue sharing?
Yes, I will tell you that. So what I said was, giving money, giving attractive salary is good, but making partnership, like you just said, partnering with them is even better. So let's say you have AdSense on your blog that makes money. Okay, and when you have writers along with you, what you can do is put their AdSense, or you can put your own AdSense on their posts and give them share of earning. There are plugins. What they do is, there's something called as multi-author plugin, and at the end I have given a list of all the plugins that multi-author blog should use. There is something called as multi-author AdSense, and there are various other plugins. So what happens is, you can just say, you publish an article on my blog, and whatever money that article makes is yours, or probably a portion of it. 50% of it is yours, 50% of it is mine. So what happens is, he gets an incentive. He's like a partner on your blog, rather than being a you owner and he writing for you. He's a partner. So that is something that you should really, if you are smaller blog, that is the best way to grow your blog. Ask other people to come on your blog and say, see, I have already started a blog, I am getting so much of traffic. If I can have you also, that will be great. And whatever money that particular blog post makes is also yours. that is a sure shot way of convincing a person to come to your blog and start writing. So that if you are in any time get interested in growing your blog, try this strategy and I'm sure it will work. Yeah, and always keep your writers motivated and happy. Just go back one slide. Yeah, one of the things that I do every day and to keep them happy, my writers happy, what I do is I really discuss with them on a regular basis, give them feedback on the way they write articles, what they write, how they should write, what is it that I expect and what is it that they write, which readers like. So, one of my writers writes an article and he gets very good page views. I immediately tell him, boss, this particular article is, really doing well. So, whatever you have done here, please do it. Or, if other articles get very good likes or shares, that is what I tell them, give them feedback. So they are very happy, they are encouraged, they are motivated and they do even well next time. So that is very important to discuss and collaborate with your writers all the time. One second, just go back. Yeah, and another thing about discussion is also that, in the morning, again with Tracking, what I do is, we have, there is a tool called Slack, where all these Tracking writers come together and in the morning I say, okay, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do today? Let's say if it is not there on calendar and they are writing to write something, I come to know. And if there are some topics that are on the calendar, scheduling calendar, I talk to them that, okay, today is the time when you're going to publish this. Are you doing it? And you can give ideas, certain links, references. So that is also important. So collaboration with your writers is very, very important for the success of a multi-authored blog. Next. Okay. Quickly, few things to keep in mind. Study the opportunity. Let's say, right now you're not doing it, but tomorrow if you want to start a blog, make sure that you choose the right vertical, right domain. The first thing is obviously your own expertise. But more than that, what is important is whether there is enough opportunity for traffic, whether there are people who want to read what you write. So make sure that you study the opportunity, market opportunity which is there when you are writing. And this is especially for people who want to make money through the blog, or they have certain commercial things that they want to look at. They want to grow the traffic and stuff like that. This is for them. Give importance to SEO. SEO is important, but don't overdo it. I have seen so many people spend, daily, they spend 3 hours or 4 hours on SEO and 1 hour on content. They think content is not important at all. And I say that if you work for 5 hours, 4.5 hours spend on content. Half hour, just think about SEO. Trust me. Just get the basics right of SEO and you are good to go, as long as your content is great. Yeah, I said that. Content still remains the most important factor of your blog growth. So always remember that. Give most importance to content. Social sharing. And now it is become even more important that along with your blog, you need to make sure that your Facebook, your Twitter presence is also growing. The reason is as a single owner, single author blog or a multi-author blog, you have to make sure that you have a great social presence. Otherwise, you're missing out an opportunity for traffic from social channels. So social sharing is important. Make sure all your blogs are shared and all the followers see it. At the same time, ask your writers also to do the same, so that you get those many more likes, shares and traffic, obviously. And then just keep analyzing the author performances. You will always see if you have a multi-author blog, few bloggers write differently, get more traffic, get more likes, get more comments. some people don't. What you have to first do is, people who are not doing it, try to understand where they are going wrong. And wherever they are going wrong, try to teach them. Or at least tell them that, this is where if you can improve, you'll really do well. So once you do that, and if they improve, great. Otherwise, I think you should be very quick and telling them that this is not working. You need to move, because this is, these other writers are getting influenced, and I don't want that and stuff like that. So always keep the best writers with you. Always credit writers with author bio links and link backs. Track blog performances and analyze it for obvious reasons. Next. So these, if you want to take a screenshot or something, you can say, or just write down the names. If at all you want to grow your blog into a multi-author blog, these are some of the best plugins that you can have. Edit Flow is basically a complete editorial workflow. If you have that particular plugin, it makes your life about 80% easy. So Edit Flow is a must for a multi-author blog. Capability Manager is something where you can assign the capabilities for various authors, because you are not going to be the only one who is going to be on WP admin as an administrator or editor. So you can assign that this particular author can see only these things, their capabilities. So that is one of a good plugin that you should have. Revisionary allows you to have permission edits on already published blog. So let's say someone else has published a blog and you want to make changes in it. Revisionary allows it, and in a multi-author blog that is important. Co-author plus, post-poking, adminize, multi-author AdSense, WP, multi-author AdSense I just told you some time back, so that is important. WP user front end. WP user front end is another interesting one. So if you want to get guest bloggers, so forget about multi-author blogging, if you want guest bloggers to come and send you a blog post, try this particular plugin where they don't even need to go to the admin dashboard. From the front end itself, they can create blogs and publish it, and it will come as a draft. You will get a message stating that someone has submitted a blog. You just say publish and then it gets published. So that is something that you should do. Yeah, that's about it. Next, the floor is open for questions. I'm not sure how many of you have questions, because very few are actually bloggers here, but the floor is open if you want to ask me.
Any good themes that you can recommend to host a multi-author blog instead of you scrolling for all the plugins and trying to create the UI yourself? Any solution out there?
I will tell you the best way to find themes, and the best way to go about it is looking for themes from WordPress gallery, themes gallery. Those are the most optimized and the best themes that you can actually use. Let's do it offline. I mean, there are many, so many of them. It depends on what kind of features you want, and generally do not go in for free themes that are available for download and are not on themes WordPress gallery, because if it is not on themes gallery, that means it is not, it's not up to the mark, and there might be certain things that may be actually harmful for your blog. So you can either look for premium themes or then go for themes on WordPress gallery. Any other questions? Yes, please. Yes. Yes, I started. Okay, so 7 years back, when I was basically I was in US and I wanted to come back and start something of my own. So what I did was I used to search online a lot, and I used to try and find opportunities for starting up here back in India. And I used to spend about 3-4 hours browsing, researching, and I used to gather so much that I said, let me share it with the world. That is how it actually started. It was never my intention to make money or to grow it or something like that. And then I started doing it regularly. I really enjoyed writing, and people also started coming. And back then, the blogs, 2007, 2008, people used to comment on blogs. Now the entire commenting and collaboration has moved to Facebook and Twitter. So let's say I publish a blog right now and put it on Facebook. My blog will not get comments on my blog, but there will be about 100 comments on my Facebook page where I've shared that article. So back then, it was because I wanted to come back and I was looking for opportunities in India, and I started writing my researches on Draken. That's how it grew. And then within 6 months, I started getting over 100,000 visitors or so. I said, wow, yeah, I mean, this is, within 6 months. About 150,000 actually. So, and people started commenting and sending emails saying, yeah, you write well and you do this and do that. That's how it started. And very soon it became a healthy money-making platform. And I said, wow, yeah, I mean, I am doing something that I'm enjoying and I'm also making money. And that's how it all started. And then after 2 years, I got my first writer. Today we have about 10 odd writers. I have about 4 or 5 different blogs which get close to 3-4 million views and visitors. So that's how it's grown. Yeah, please.
Hello.
Yeah.
I have 3 questions actually.
Please.
One, you already told us the collaboration tool you use with your authors. So can you tell us more about what that tool is and how you manage collaboration with the authors?
Yeah, let's go back. So you're talking about Edit Flow, right?
No, I don't think so. How do you keep goals to your authors? Who writes what and?
Yeah, so scheduling calendar. So there, I have not written here. 1 second. Oh, I have not given the article. So there is a plugin called Scheduling Manager, and Edit Flow also does that. But if you want a standalone, what you can do is there is something called a scheduling calendar where you can ask your writers to log in and just say that you go to this calendar and write down the topics or the titles that you're going to write over next 15 days or 30 days. Okay, now once they do that, your calendar is ready and you also do it. So if you have, let's say, 5 writers, they will write, each of them are writing 10 articles or 5 articles. So you have a view of about 50-60 articles that are going to come on various days on your admin page, and it's a calendar just like a Google Calendar. It shows you nicely in boxes that on this date these are the topics and this is the person who is going to write. So that gives you a great view. So that is what I use for scheduling, and that is integrated with something called as Edit Flow, which is a completely editorial flow management. So what happens is on that your authors come, click on it and start writing. They leave it halfway because it is going to be published about 8 days later. So that will remain, and you can see the meter where this much, these many people have written so many blogs and these are going to be published on so and so date. So it's a complete flow. It's a plugin and free plugin which can show you a complete view. So that is what it is.
The second question was like on Draken you write a lot of fresh content, based on context. So how do you decide who writes what?
It is all to do with expertise. So I have, let's say, I have identified that Siddhant is very good in area where anything to do with government projects, Make in India and stuff like that. So whenever such topics come up, either he finds it or I assign it or any of the team members during collaboration, they assign it. So what happens is everybody is working for everyone. We 5 of us come together in the morning and say, okay, these are the topics that are really great. You can take this up. I also do the same thing. And I say, Mohul, you can take this up. Siddhant, you can take. Vaishnavi, you can take. So whoever my writers are, we have a small 15-minute virtual meeting in the morning and just assign things to each other. And as and when it in the day comes, because of the Slack, that collaboration tool which I spoke about, they just keep interacting there that, this is something that you can really write and, this is the interesting topic which has come up. That is how we assign and come up with this fresh content which is there. And as it happens, so we are all the time online 24/7, right? So you know, that is how it happens.
Last question is, what's the traffic for tracking recent?
Why, why do you want to know? Anyway, I think we have grown about 3 times in last 12 months, and last month we had 2.45 million visitors. So that's the traffic. Okay, I guess the questions are done. If you want to, yes, please.
You shared your ideas to find guest blogger or say partner for your blog or something. You shared about like checking their Facebook status and how active are they in sharing.
Sorry, I did not understand your
Okay.
question.
Actually, that was my main interest in your session. Finding out people to guest.
Okay. So you are saying, you are asking me, correct me if I'm wrong, how do you find writers?
Some more smart ways, just like you shared.
Okay. So, and you know what, I have not given enough stress when I was talking, but finding good writers is the most difficult and the most treacherous thing for a multi-authored blog or a popular blog who have multiple writers. You don't get it. And you know, I have tried every way of finding good writers. First is, obviously I wrote a blog post on my own site, you know, that we are writers. Then I put it on Facebook, Twitter and everywhere. And then yes, there are so many people who get in touch with you, but the quality is not good. So rather than waiting for people to get in touch with you and then you spending a lot of time trying to analyze that whether they are good or not, what you should do is try and find out, go on the web, you know, look for people on Twitter, Facebook, you know, there may be people who will be following you or you must be following them. In the vertical that you are looking at, so let's say if yours is poetry or business or tech or whatever your vertical is, in that vertical, try to follow people and then see who are good at writing, who are good at expressing themselves. Get in touch with them directly. That is one of the best ways that I have found. Or the other way I do it is, I get a lot of comments on my articles. And you know, those comments are very important for me, for my writer search. I get in touch, whenever I see a good, intelligent comment, I get in touch with that person and say, wow, yeah, you're expressing your views beautifully. Would you be interested in writing for us? And then I give them the advantages for writing with us and stuff like that. So that is how, that is one of the, 2 of the ways how you can get in touch with new writers. Yes, Primanshu.
Yes, Arun, 2-part question. One is, the blog might not always be monetized, right? Because the blog can have other purposes as well. So when I am finding collaborators on a blog, the primary purpose of which is not money making, how do we go about it? One thing. Second thing, if I am not working on revenue sharing, how do I go about paying, like, because you know there's a huge spectrum of.
So what you see, like I said, money is a great motivator, okay? But if that is out of the question, you need to know what is other motivation that people have. Because without any motivation, people will not come. If you are asking them, he's not going to come. But in return, he is writing for you. What are you going to give it to him? Whether it may be indirectly it may be fame or coverage or whatever it is, you need to find that, what that other person wants. And then on that basis, you need to approach. So if it's not money, it is something else that you have to give them. It cannot be one way that people will just come and write for you without anything, without they getting anything. So you always need to look what motivates them and then talk accordingly.
No, that's what the question is. You work on revenue sharing, right?
Yes.
So now in my case, it might not be revenue sharing. I need to pay them money, obviously.
Yeah.
How do I go about deciding what's a good amount, what's not a good amount? Because there are people who are.
I will tell you again. And that's actually a good question, because even today, if you ask me after 7 years that what is a good, it all depends. Do you know that there are people who write a 500-word article for 100 rupees, and there are people who write a 500-word article for 50,000 rupees each.
So that's what I'm saying, it's a wide spectrum.
It's a wide spectrum. So it is you. What is the best thing that you can offer? So, so try to find how much do you make per article, and then accordingly you can say, okay, my upper limit is I can pay 500 rupees per article to a person, and then that is how you need to do. So it all depends on how much you make, and then depending also you have to work backwards and then come up with that figure which we are talking about. So as a blogger, so I'll give you a simple.
Is there any industry standard figure?
No, there is no industry standard. There is absolutely no industry standard. So for a sponsored post on Trackin, we charge 1 lakh rupee. But when there is a if I give the same review to someone who is writing, I am going to pay them probably 15,000 or 20,000. It all depends. There are also people who write for me for just 500 rupees per article. So there is no standard at all. It all depends on what you can give and how much you can give and how happy that other person is on that. It's all very, very, you can't put a figure to it.
My question is a bit off topic.
Okay, yeah, please.
So you have a blog related to tech startups, right?
Sorry?
You have a blog related to tech and startups.
Yes, tech, business and startups.
Yes. So for example, some X startup got X million of funding. So you have that post.
Yes.
So there are many social networking sites, Facebook, Twitter, or any other news site gives me that news before you, for example. So do you think that is affecting your blog traffic?
Sorry, again, can you?
For example, so you have blog post about some X startup got X million of funding, and you have blog post about it. But before your post came, I got news from other social networking site information about that. So do you think that is affecting your blog traffic?
No, I don't. See, again, if you think that way, then you can't ever write anything because you cannot ever be the first person to write.
Right.
Economic Times and Times of India and Hindus will be the first to get the news, come what may. They will manufacture it, but you will not have it. So you're still very small. How can you differentiate yourself? It's by having your own point of view. Your own point of view is your own, and it is unique to you. And that is what people want to read. When I was researching and when I started off, what I used to do, I used to look for opportunities to come back to India. Okay, and I used to say, this is a great opportunity. In my point of view, this is what is really good. And that's what I used to write. And that's what people liked. I was never the first one to write about it. But it was your own point of view, what is the difference between you and others. So today, everyone writes about Make in India. But what in our articles we write is, it's not only just Make in India, but how it is going to affect our, in future, the employment, the manufacturing, or the prices of gadgets and stuff like that. So we bring our own unique point of view, which is the biggest thing for us. So in startup case, it's the same thing. In some cases, you can't give point of view, but you have dedicated writers. Today, we have about 100,000 newsletters. They might not have read. They will read it through our Trackin newsletter that, this startup has got funding. So, there are millions of people reading it, and you can't, it can't be just one who is the first who is writing it.
Right.
It can't be.
Startup was just example.
Yeah.
So does it affect to some extent,
I don't think it affects. I think the right question would be that if you are not the first person, do you get less traffic in writing any news? And I don't think that's the case. There are hundreds of people who write about it, and it depends on the authority of the blog, how old it is. I mean, what is the traffic it gets and stuff like that. So there are various variables.
Okay. Quality of content.
Yes, all those things.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, please.
You talked about money as a motivator, but I've also noticed for Trackin you've encouraged authors to attend events and press conferences.
Yes.
Isn't that another big motivating factor?
Absolutely
You
it
can
is.
elaborate
Absolutely it
that
is.
was,
So some of the writers have gone abroad for Trackin, where Trackin was, in Hong Kong there was an event and I had sent one of our writers there just for that. So there are various motivating factors, and that's what I told Primanshu, that you need to find out what is the motivating factor for your writers, and if they like something, give it to them, make them happy, whatever the motivating factor is. So yes, what you're saying is right. Those are motivating factors. Okay, last question or second last? I'm going to just take one and one. Okay. Later? Okay. Last question. That's the last question.
Surely with 2 million views a month, you have tried a lot of other revenue streams, I mean other than AdSense. Which ones have you tried and which have really worked?
Every. You name it, and I have tried every.
Like a subscription model has worked in this country?
No.
No? Which others have you tried?
I have tried affiliate, I have tried direct advertising, I have tried sponsored post, I have tried text links, I have tried all kinds of various unique advertisings like video advertising, and I have also tried these surveys and audio ads and having sponsored posts or sponsored reviews. So I mean there are various ways, but there are some which work well, some which don't, and we have stuck to only 3 of them. That is direct ads, affiliate advertising, and AdSense, the ad networks basically. So banner advertising. So those are the 3 that work best for us. And for bloggers, you need to find out what works best for you and accordingly. But subscription model does not work. People don't pay. I mean, not even single. So I'll give you an example. We curate a list of Indian funding, all startups that have got funded. We curate it with a lot of difficulty, and we tried a subscription model where we said, okay, if you want content for all, subscribe. You pay just, I asked them for 50 rupees, and I could not get any. So it does not work. Subscription model does not work in India, at least as of now. Yes, so I think that's done. Thank you so much, guys.